This is JOATD. I was wanting to show you guys, I just got this 2-cycle weed eater. It's a Craftsman. It won't start, has a little gas in it. I'm pumping it. Let's see. But it won't start. Let's see. Put it on 1. See if it'll start. Oh, well, hold up. It might start. Let's see. Hold up. You gotta press this primer bulb 10 times just to make sure the carburetor has enough gas through it. Alright, so you can see it doesn't work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tear down the carburetor and clean it out and just blow all the dirt out of it and just clean it as best as we can. So what we're gonna start by doing is taking off this door. It's the air filter door housing. Just push it in and pull this out. That just comes off. Yeah, you can see that. It's like, I don't know, old gas and oil in there. So you put this off to the side. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a, let's see, a T25. Get a T25 and you're gonna take out, see if I can flip it over. I'm gonna take out these 2 hex bolts right here, star bolts. Take those out first. Get those out. Alright. And that T25 bit. Alright. Now, just gonna pull everything off. That keep me like a little old ice cream bucket, you know, old, man, you probably can't see it. Keep me a little old ice cream bucket. I just throw all the screws in it. I'm gonna pull this off, separate this from the carburetor. There you go. Now remember, see this right here? This is a gasket. You wanna make sure that either you just let it stay there, so when you put it back on, it's straight, or just keep up with it. It's always going to be between the housing and the carburetor. And normally it's one on the other side too. It just depends on what type of weed eater you have. This one has like a little O-ring, so it doesn't need it. Alright, so what we're going to do is just sit this off to the side. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect these fuel lines. Sometimes these fuel lines are on here pretty hard or tight, and what I do is I just take like a little pair of channel locks and I lightly grab it and just give it a little twist. There you go. See it just come off. Same thing here. Get a little twist just to break that connection it has on it. You can see it has a little gas in the bubble. Different ways to get rid of that. You can just, let's see, find you something and just pour it inside it to get it out. Give me a second. Get you like a little old cup or something, but I'm just gonna use this. I'm gonna squeeze all this gas out. See how that just pump it out. It lets you know that the primer bulb's working pretty good. All right. Now, first thing I normally do is, see how it has all this grime on it? I get me a shop rag and I just try to get some of that off. It's just the oil that you put in the gas. Sometimes it leaks out a little bit, gets all over everything. I like to kind of clean it up just a little bit. First thing I do is grab me a Phillips head screwdriver, because down here on the bottom you got 4. Up here at the top where the primer bulb is, you have 2. And I normally take the primer bulb off first. I don't know why. It doesn't matter, to be honest with you. You take it off. Take this one off. Like I say, I throw the bolts in the, or the screws in a little ice cream bucket over there. Okay, got those out. Now you're gonna disconnect this top part here. Just make sure when you disconnect it, you don't lose these diaphragms. I think that's what they're called. They're basically like little gaskets to stop the gas from coming out. This is 2-part. It's like a thinner part here, and then it's a thicker part under the bottom. Just put that off to the side. As you can see right here, hopefully it's clear. Right there, that's a screen. Normally it's dirt inside the screen. You want to clean all that out, but before I do that, I take the whole thing apart first. Now remember, these 2 holes right here, you want to know which side, when you put this back on, which way the holes go. Sometimes it's only one. If it's only one, it goes towards the back, away from the set screws. These are the set screws. So this hole normally goes out to the back. If it's just one, if it's 2, you know, it's one out to the back, one out to the front. So what we're gonna do is just take this apart. Break them all loose. Alright, got that. And then we'll go ahead and separate this. There you go. See, you got another diaphragm slash gasket in here, and then you can tell which way, like if you happen to separate this and you're like, oh God, I don't know which way this goes in, you can kind of tell. See how it has this little loop right here? See, it has this little extra loop right here, unless you know it goes this way. And the part with the circles like this, it always goes in the inside. Part like this, the flat part, it's always on the outside. So that's how you know. Okay, now down in here, that's the jet. I like to take this off. It's a little spring under here, so you got to remember, you see how this moves? It's a spring under there. So once you take this bolt out, you got to hold your hand over top of that and make sure you get that screen out. I mean, sorry, that spring out of there. And that's the jet up in the front. So if you turn this and it doesn't want to turn, tighten it first and then turn it. See that? Sometimes you'll try to take it loose and it'll strip it. So you want to tighten it first, just a little bit, and then turn it back and it'll break it. Alright, so there we go. See a little spring right there? It's a spring, see that? So you want to make sure you have that. It's like 3 pieces basically. It's I'm gonna put this down for a second. It's, let's see, It's this little bar right here. See that? It's 4 pieces actually. It's a bar. It's like little teeter-totter kind of thing that this actual spring sits like right here. Okay, when it's up under it. And then you got this little float right here. That actually, that's the needle that lets the gas in and closes and stops the gas from coming in. So you're gonna put all these little parts over to the side. Just make sure you keep up with them. And then here, we're gonna clean out all of these jets. If you don't know where all the jet holes are, man, I just suggest you cleaning out all of it. Just clean out everything. You want to open this up, clean it out in there, spraying every little hole you see. You know, that's not like a screw hole. These are screw holes. You know, right here, that's the like little filter area. Just spray everything out. Just clean as best as you can. And then after I spray it with carb cleaner, I will use a compressed air. You can use a compressed air can, or you can use your air compressor. I'm gonna use my air compressor. So let's go ahead and start cleaning it. I'm kind of running out of carb clean, so I just did one. Basically what I'm trying to make sure you guys can actually see. Let me move this out the way. All right. I spray it all out, spray all the holes out, all the holes. Everything. Backside. Open it up. Spray the inside out. Other side. Sorry, trying to make sure I'm in the camera. Spray the inside out. Spray the little fence out here. Little filter area. Make sure ain't no dirt in there. Spray out everything else. I even put it in right here. See how it's sprayed out? Look at that. You can see it coming out the different holes. That's what you want to do. Alright, now once you get that all cleaned up as much as you can possibly, then you're going to get your compressed air. And get your compressed air. And you're going to spray everything out. Alright, now that's actually clean. I know it's going to be a little loud because my air compressor's on, but that's clean, okay? Try to put this, like wrap it up in a towel or something like that. Just put it off to the side so it doesn't get any more dirt in it. Then right here, this is where the primer bulb goes. You want to clean this out too. So you're going to separate this. If you ever get to a, hold on guys. I had to turn that air compressor off. It was a little too loud. If you ever get to a point where you can't pull this, if you can't pull this, you know, from the top half of the carburetor, what I do is I get me a blade, and if this is on here, don't cut yourself. I get in there real good between it, and I kind of just work it around it. Dang, sorry guys. I work it around it. Just stick it in between and just work it all the way around until you get the whole thing off. It's gonna leave a little, it's gonna leave a little debris, you know, on here. I'll take the blade and I kind of just scrape it off a little bit, as much as I can. And I go from there. So we're gonna clean this off too. Like I said, I'm running out of carb clean. I just cleaned like 9 of these things. I should have did a video a long time ago. So what we're gonna do is all right, that's good as I'm gonna get it. Then I take my air compressor and I spray it off. That's clean, okay? Kind of spray off every small little piece you can, just in case it has dirt in it. It shouldn't, but you never know. If the primer bulb is busted, this would be a good time to go ahead and, you know, grab you one. Go to like, if you got like a little small store in your area that carries like lawn equipment and things like that, you might stop there. They may have some, or you can just order it before you do the video or watch the video. Most of the time, these things are pretty good, unless you, if you see like stress cracks all in it, it's bad. You need to replace it. So we're gonna sit that upside down, and then I like to blow these off too. There's probably dirt on them. Get this one, flip it around, and then first thing I do is I match this up, so you can tell by the way it looks which way it goes. But you need to realize which side goes to what part. See all these little creases and lines in here? If you look on this, I don't know if you guys can see it. I try to hold it at an angle, but it has creases and lines on it where it was. So that's how you know where it goes, okay? So this actually goes like this, see? And then this part goes like this. See how I got that on there? And the reason that I know that this plastic kind of piece goes on top is because this part always goes towards the actual carburetor itself. This kind of shiny part of it, it goes towards the carburetor. So I grab my carburetor, and how you know which side it goes on is very easy. This right here is where the fuel line goes, and both of them go out on the same side. So that's how you know which way it goes on. And then you line it up, kind of move. You're gonna have to move this out the way. First, put it on. Get it on there real good and tight. Okay, I got it on there. Everything's on. Hold on, let me make sure I like to make sure it's straight. Yeah, there we go. And that's straight. Okay. So I'm moving this out of the way because this rests, you know, up against this idle screw right here. And the idle screw is actually on this top half of the carburetor. So if this is in the way, this will always have like a gap between here. So I move it out, put it on, then let it go, and hold my hand down on it tight. Then you go ahead and get this top piece here. Like I say, man, this stuff, some of this stuff only goes on one way. Okay, see, you can tell that goes like that. I mean, it's shaped exactly like it. You see how it's flat, and this isn't. Look at that on the side. You see, that's how you can tell. And you're gonna get your 2 screws. Go ahead and put your 2 screws in. Get your Phillip head. Go ahead and tighten it down. Now this stuff is like hand tight. You don't over tighten this stuff. You might damage the threads in the carburetor. So let me show you. I'm just gonna get snug. That's snug tight, you know, hand tight. Look at that. That's it. You don't want no more than that. Okay. Now I'm gonna do this bottom half. This bottom half of it right here. See if I can turn the flashlight on so you can see. Okay. I'm gonna turn do this bottom half. It's already clean, but what I like to do is right before I'm gonna put that stuff on, I spray it out again. Okay. This is a little harder to show, but you get this needle, right? I put the needle in first. So the needle's in first, then I take the spring. Let's see. Spring off. I put the spring in right here, second. So now that's kind of sitting in there, all right? Then I'm gonna sit it down for a second so I can assemble this. This right here, you go ahead and put that straight through, okay? This is the bottom half of it where this little point is, because that's where the spring sits. So you pick this up. Like I said, this is difficult, but not too difficult. You see that needle has like a little slot in it. You stick this in the slot of the needle like that, and then you kind of let it go, and you kind of slide this over a little bit so that it'll sit in there, and then there you go. See? And I'm used to doing this, so it's a little easier for me. But you do it a couple times, you'll get it. Just try to keep up with all the parts that go to it. So you hold this down, right? And you take the screw, put the screw in, tighten the screw all the way down. You can let it go once you put that screw in down. Then, like I said again, just tight enough. You don't put that screw in there so tight that you strip it, because then this thing's useless. And you just kind of make sure everything's working. See, it's working. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to blow this off too. I don't like to have dirt on anything. Okay. Remember again, I told you that this part right here goes towards everything. It goes in the inside. And then how you know to put this on right? You see this little part right here? See that little circle right there? Goes just like that. See that? It's perfect. And you take this part again. Remember I told you those two holes? One goes towards the set screws, and then the other one goes towards the area where the fuel lines go. And if it's just one, turn them to the fuel lines. The little hole right there goes to the fuel lines. And then what we're going to do is going to put all these screws back on it. All the screws back. And we're going to tighten everything down. Make sure it's straight. Sometimes it ain't straight. There you go. So you got to line them holes up. Okay. Got everything lined up. I like to tighten them all down, you know, just a little bit first, and then I go back and put that pressure on them. Just enough right there. Just enough. You don't have to over tighten these things. Right there. Alright, so this thing is basically clean. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is move this stuff out the way. We're gonna grab this and we're gonna put this right back up here. Okay. Try to turn it to a way that you guys can see it. There you go. Okay, now first thing we're gonna do is see how you have two fuel lines. If you don't know where the fuel lines go, one of these fuel lines has a filter on it. If you open it up and look down in here, you'll see which one has the filter, right? It's clear in one here, and the back has the filter on it. Okay, So the one with the filter on it always goes on the bottom. Okay, so right here, filter goes on this bottom one. This is the top, this is the bottom. So you put the filter one, which is the one in the back. On yours it may be different, but on this one it's the one in the back. It has the filter, and you can see it. This line goes all the way down into the tank. This line right here only stops up at the top right here. It's just to press air in here. That's all it is. Okay, so you take this bottom one, put it on the bottom, take the top, put it on top. All right, you're done with that. This right here, this is your throttle cable. So you can put it in that hole, put it in and turn it like that. Now that's done. Okay, so everything right there is done, right? Now, leave that there. What you're gonna do is, you're gonna get this, this is your air box right here. You're gonna clean this up, you know, just clean it up. Get you a good microfiber rag and just kind of just clean it out. I don't like to have dirt in there. I normally use my air compressor, but I turned it off so you guys could hear me. But I would just take the air compressor, just blow everything in there. Just blow it out. And then come in here with the rag and clean it out real good. I don't like to have anything in here. All right. That's the best I can do. It's not really any air in there anymore. Okay, this right here is always going to be, this is your choke. This is always going to be up towards you. Okay, it's not going to be down at the bottom. You need the choke to be up at the top, so it's going to be up here. So you're going to line up all these holes, and like I said last time, make sure you have this gasket right here on here or here. You're gonna have to hold it between it, however you're gonna do it, but it needs to go between here and the carburetor. Okay, so got the 2 long screws. Put the screw in, I put them in the hole right here like that. I'm just lining everything up, then push it all the way through like that. So now I got everything all the way to the screw holes, right? Now, I use my drill for everything. I put it on like 2 or whatever, but I use my drill for everything. So what you're gonna do is, the best way for you to do this is to turn this on by hand. You know, use the tool and turn this on by hand. Get it in there tight. I'm just a drill person, I can't help it. You know, I got this thing on like 2, so it's not gonna strip it out. See that? It didn't strip it out. And then I give it like an extra turn. Give it an extra turn. All right, so that's on there good. Now we got to get the outside part, this part right here. Now this right here really needs to be clean. I'm gonna pause the video and go over here and cut the air compressor on and get it built up so I can spray all this out. All right, just give me a second. Okay guys, I'm back. Now let's start by cleaning this outside of your air filter box. Okay, we're gonna pull out this, it's wet. We're gonna pull out this foam right here. You're gonna start by drying this filter off. So I'm gonna take my little shop rag and kind of squeeze it and get whatever this is. I guess this is water. I don't like working on dirty weed eaters, so what I do is I take the pressure washer and I spray it off. So this may be a little water from the pressure washer. All right, so to clean this out, I take my compressed air and just clean, and we kind of put that over to the side. Now we get this part right here, the outer box, and take our rag and try to get in there as good as you can, because it's like disgusting in there. You know, sometimes if you lay these weed eaters on the side where the air box is, the gas will leak out in it. I'm saying sometimes, but mostly all the time. So we're gonna spray this out too. All right, let's clean them. That's good enough. If you want to, you can clean it out a little more. Just for the purpose of how long the video is, I'm gonna kind of just clean it up just good enough. All right, so that's pretty clean. You know, take this filter and put this filter back in this area right here. All right, so that's on there. Then you're gonna take this, see this little groove here? I'm sticking in these two holes. Snap it down, close it. All right. Make sure you got your choke on 1. The gas that's in it is the same gas, you know, when I bought it. It's probably old. I'm gonna put a little more gas in it, just to top that gas off that's in there, make it a little stronger. I'm just gonna turn this way a little bit. Just put a little gas in it. That's good enough. Now, these weed eaters, you know, they have a mixture ratio, gas to oil, and this one right here is 40-to-1. I don't actually have my measuring tool with me right now, but I'm just gonna put a little drop of oil in here, just a little bit. That's good enough. You know, if you have too much oil in the gas, it won't spark because it has too much oil in it. It won't light. And if you don't have enough in it, you end up overheating your motor. So the oil is actually there to keep the motor cool, just like your car. All right, I got one more thing I want to do. Pause it right quick. What I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and check this spark plug, see if the spark plug is any good, see if it needs to be cleaned off. This right here is the actual spark plug socket. Has a little rubber grommet down in there. You can get those anywhere. I don't technically know what size it is. Sorry guys. Just breaking it loose right quick. And then once I get this loose, we're gonna check the spark plug and see how this spark plug looks. Let's see. Doesn't look too bad. Pretty good actually. I pulled out some, they look disgusting. What I'm gonna do is take this little wire brush and just kind of hit it a little bit. Hit it with that wire brush just to get it clean, and then use this little bit of carb cleaner that I probably don't have left in here just to spray it. That's all I got, guys. All right. And then I'm gonna put this back in here. Turn it. I like to turn it in until, you know, it stops. And then tighten it. And this is hand tight. This is like snug hand tight. You do not over tighten spark plugs. Right there. That's good enough. You just don't want this thing loose. Clean the top of it off. Connector. Alright. Push that all the way down till it makes a snapping noise. Now, this is the secret, okay, to starting a weed eater. See, it has 1, 2, 3, okay? Starting position, second starter position, this is the end. Now, this primer bulb back here, you're gonna pump this thing 10 times, slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if you can see in there, that thing's full. You see that? That's 10 times. You have to do that. You cannot, you know, unless you just used it, you know, but if it's been sitting 30 minutes, you know, an hour, you want to pump this thing. You want to prime this thing 10 times, okay? Now, let's see what we can get it to do. Okay, so let's see. Try to get it in a way that I really want to hold it up at the end, but hold on, let me see. There we go.